Hi, folks. Welcome to Crisco's Corner. Hi, folks. Welcome back. And those of you that are new, welcome. Well, from the Daily Wire, Karine Jean-Pierre, I still say she has the best name of all the people in Washington, snaps at reporters. It's not your decision to make on what I can and can't answer. Yeah, it seems like, in 2 days will be the second anniversary of Joe Biden swearing in as president. And it seems like the honeymoon is over. The infatuation and love and all that good stuff has seemed to have a little tarnish when the mainstream media starts going after Joe Biden and the Democrats, at least in part. I mean, they're not, believe me, they're not doing that full time. You know that maybe something's amiss. Now, I'm not going to go through this whole article, but there's some videos on here, some short clips I think you should have. I got to tell you, criticizing this woman here as press secretary is not racist. Duh. She is totally unqualified. Totally unqualified. White House Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre, love that, snapped at reporters during Wednesday's press briefing over repeated questions about President Joe Biden's classified documents scandal. Can you tell us any sort of assessment to determine if national security had been jeopardized? A reporter asked. That's for the Department of Justice. Why, the reporter asked. She snapped back, it's not your decision to make and what I can or can't answer from here. Well, let's see the first video here. This ought to be interesting. I'm loving all of this.
Go ahead. Sorry, but on questions that you should be able to answer here that shouldn't have to go to any other agency or entity, can you tell us if there's any sort of assessment that has been planned or launched to determine if national security has been jeopardized at all?
Again, that's for the Department of Justice.
Why is it a DOJ question?
And let's be clear, it's not your decision to make of what I can or can't answer from here.
Oh, a little snippy, are we? She also brushed off aside calls for greater transparency. One reporter noted that the media keeps getting passed around to different entities to get answers to their questions, and that each entity passes the buck to someone else. Oh, so the White House press secretary passes the DOJ. The DOJ passes it to the FBI. The FBI passes it back to the White House. The White House passes it. If you're not able to talk about the classified documents from the podium, would you invite a DOJ official to take our questions here? No. Why would I want to be transparent? What's that one MASH episode from years ago and something about a piece of equipment Hawkeye wanted, and there was a general at a press conference and they kept getting drilled on it. And finally he said, listen, this is a press conference. The last thing I want to do is answer a bunch of questions. Looks similar. Let's see another clip.
Thank you, Karine. Since so many of our questions have been referred to the DOJ and to the White House counsel's office, I'm sure you can understand that we're in sort of an information blackout where DOJ refers us to the special counsel. They're not holding any briefings. White House counsel refers us to DOJ. So if you are not able to talk about this from the podium, would you invite a DOJ official to take our questions here? To the briefing?
No, you would have to go to the Department of Justice. That is not, this is a legal matter that is currently happening at the Department of Justice. And the President has been very, very clear when it comes to these types of legal matters, when it comes to investigations, he's not going to interfere. He wants to make sure that we give back the independence that the Department of Justice should have.
Well, I'll let it play out, then I'll tell you what I really think.
When it comes to these types of investigations, so certainly would not be bringing them here. So I would refer you to the Department of Justice.
You had no problem before. You had no problem leaking out the photographs of the so-called classified documents that President Trump had unlawfully, you say. You had no trouble with that. You had no trouble leaking out everything for the 4 years, actually longer, while he was running for president than after Trump was president. You had no problem with the DOJ and the FBI leaking out everywhere. The place was a sieve. All of a sudden now, you can't even get what they ask the DOJ what time it is. They say, we can't tell you. You didn't give a good damn when they were supposedly investigating President Trump about the independence of the DOJ. What a joke. The independence of the FBI. What a joke. I'm not saying the entire DOJ and the FBI is in cahoots, but enough to make a huge difference. I mean, they're raiding preachers with 6, 8 kids in early morning hours and a wife because he prayed in front of a abortion clinic. Let's cut through the crap, shall we? Peter Navarro, one of the top economists in the country, maybe even the world, lives next door to the FBI building, was handcuffed and shackled at an airport. Well, they could have, and he went to the FBI office 3 or 4 times. They came to his house. They interviewed him a dozen times. Yeah, they're using the Justice Department in retaliation for their political enemies. Let's cut through the BS before we all drown in it. They're not an independent operation entirely. Biden was committed to not interfering, blah, blah, blah. Let's listen to another clip here. I love this. This is fascinating.
I can also ask you, I had asked you last Friday, and I know that there was a formal request from the WHCA to have Richard Sauber come to the briefing and take questions. To follow up on that, would you commit to having the White House counsel come here and take questions?
That is something that I would refer you to the White House counsel's office. They have been engaged with all of you. I know, again, they did a 45.
Let me finish out the rest of it for you. Ever watch Charlie Brown and the Adults? Wah, 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 wah. We stay silent on investigations unless it's our political enemies, and then we leak everything out like a sieve and distort the facts. Let's continue listening.
5-minute call with many of, if not you, many of your colleagues. Somebody here had said 30 minutes, but it was not. It was actually 45 minutes. They miscounted. And so that was important. They will continue to engage with all of you. And so again, I would refer you to the White House counsel's office on this, and any specifics to the ongoing legal matter, I would refer you to the Department of Justice.
Did you pass along the request?
I'm happy to pass it along.
Now, here's interesting. Let me pretend for a minute that I'm the head White House counsel, and you're talking to Oval Office officials. Oh, sit down. Oh, how are you? Good, good. Glass of water, tea, soda? No, thank you. Well, have a seat. All right, I want you to ask your boss a question. Sure. Meeting President Biden. Yeah. I want you to ask him, what the was he doing? What the was he doing? Okay, meeting over. Here's another reporter. I want to reference the 60 Minutes interview when he ran his mouth. Remember that one? Reporter asked Jean-Pierre, I got to keep saying this great name, again refuses to comment on references to the White House counsel. I'm simply going to comment on the person that you work for. I just commented. I already answered your question. You really didn't. I did. No, you didn't. This is your option. Now, it's funny. Look at her smirking there. Like it's some kind of joke. The problem was with President Trump, and he even came on many times for a press conference, he was too open. Is there such a thing as being too honest, too transparent and open? Yeah. I think he did. And Kayleigh did a wonderful job as press secretary. That binder she had all the facts and figures. It was just wonderful. Let's listen to some more.
I want to reference an interview that President Biden did in mid-September with 60 Minutes. And in that interview, he chided former President Trump for having in his possession classified documents. He called it irresponsible. First of all, do you think it was proper for President Biden to comment on an ongoing DOJ investigation?
So I'm going to say this, and I'm going to keep it really short today as it relates to this.
Now, the fact of the matter is he didn't ask for information concerning the current circumstance under its legality. He asked if it was proper for the President of the United States to run his mouth during an investigation. She's saying she can say nothing or comment nothing on the current investigation, but yet the so-called investigation on President Trump, they can run their mouths all they want to. Now watch how she answers the question, which really doesn't answer it, and he even says so.
This particular issue as it relates to an ongoing legal matter, I'm going to refer you to Department of Justice with that specific. As it relates to anything that you want to ask of us about this legal matter, I would refer you to the White House counsel office. I'm going to leave it there. I'm not going to go into further.
I'm simply asking you to comment
I
on the person that you work for.
I just commented. We're moving on. Go ahead. No, go ahead. I already answered your question. Go ahead.
You really didn't.
Well, I did.
No, you didn't.
Well, it's your opinion. It's your opinion. It's your opinion. That.
And that's what a lot of these leftists do, if you notice. They repeat the same thing all over and over. Well, it's your opinion. Well, it's your opinion. Well, it's your opinion. Well, you're a racist. Well, you're a racist. Well, you're a racist. They're like 5-year-olds. No, you did. Yes, you did. No, you did. Yes, you did. No, you did. Yes, you didn't. He didn't ask anything about the current investigation. He said, why did your boss, the person you work for, who can fire you, so that makes him your boss, make a comment on a so-called investigation of President Trump? And she wouldn't even comment on that because she knew it was wrong. Let's get to the nuts and bolts of this, to what's really going on. There was a good piece by Tucker Carlson concerning Andrew Cuomo. Now, I know a little bit more about it than most people in the country because I live in upstate New York and I'm very involved in local politics. And, yeah, Andrew Cuomo was a scumbag, no question. But how quickly the Democrats turned on him. And they're going to turn on Biden the same way for one simple reason. They used him the most they could, and it's an older, white male. Period. That is on the bottom of the totem for the progressives. Unless you're gay, of course, or trans man, then it's okay. I know. I can't keep track of this. I don't have my scorecard with me. But if you're they call it cisgender white male, you are yesterday's newspaper, and they will throw you under the bus. And that's why I think these reporters started to do their job, because they've been given the green light. Go ahead and act like a normal reporter, because we want Biden out. And in all fairness, Biden got what he wanted his whole life, to be president of the United States. And he got it. What did he run, 3 or 4 times before this time? And got slaughtered every time. But this time he's squeaked through, and I can't get into details on the election. That's another day for another time. All right, Joe, you got what you wanted. And we got what we wanted. Trump's gone. It was a win-win deal. It was a losing deal for the American people, but it was a win-win deal for Democrats. All right, they gave you what you wanted. Time to go. But the problem is, though, they don't like Kamala either. But she's female. Well, as far as I know, I'm not a biologist. She's female, and she's non-white. She's not African-American, just so you know, people that don't know that. But she's non-white, and she's a woman. That collects a lot of boxes for them. But she has the personality of an egg. I mean, she might even have a worse personality than Hillary Clinton, if that's even possible. So now we ask ourselves, what are the Democrats going to do? Now, they want Biden now, but they don't want Kamala in. It's going to be fascinating. So stay tuned for the next episode as the White House stomach turns. Until next time, goodbye and good luck.